My dear friends, today I would like to share my views about an issue that concerns both transparency and democracy, and more particularly in the wake of the recent controversy about the Honorable Prime Minister Modi degrees and the silence and secrecy and suppression of the facts and degrees and people's right to know. My friends, the Delhi High Court's recent judgment refusing to disclose Prime Minister Narendra Modi's BA degree 1978 from Delhi University has raised deep concerns about transparency and accountability in our democracy. Doubts about his degrees were not restricted just to his BA degree awarded by Delhi University, but also around his MA degree from Gujarat University, which mentioned Modi has secured the PG degree in entire political science, a subject that apparently does not exist and is not even taught in any university or anywhere. The Prime Minister, to an extent, contributed to the controversy in more than one way and one video and more than one way by his, as visualized by video clips that circulated on social media, most of them before the 2004 general elections. He described himself as an educated person and a chaiwala. The suspicion about Modi's educational degrees is not completely unfounded. He used to leave the marital status column on the election affidavit blank. He put his wife Jashoda Ben's name only after Supreme Court ruling that the candidates had to fill their affidavits in full without leaving any blanks. He has been claiming for a long time in his speeches and interviews that he does not have any formal education or family. Further, the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister Modi himself stated in his sworn affidavit, in election affidavit on Solomon Oath in 2019 that he holds BA degree from Delhi University and MA degree in entire political science from Gujarat University, apart from mentioning about his wife. And this, I have taken this source from Times of India, dated 26/4/2019. If this is already a matter of public record, how can the same information be hidden from scrutiny of the public, my friends? The Delhi High Court on Monday 25/8/2025 set aside a 2016 order passed by Central Information Commission that had directed the Delhi University to disclose details of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's degree in response to an RTA application, with strange reasoning that there lies a special relationship of trust and confidence between a student and university, which is fiduciary in nature. The court held that the information pertaining to an individual's educational qualifications, including degrees and marks, falls within the ambit of personal information under the provisions of RTA Act. The court also relied upon a Gujarat High Court order of 2023, where it had similarly quashed and set aside an order of CIC that has directed the university to search for information regarding PM Modi's degree at Gujarat University in 1983. What makes the issue more serious is the intriguing silence of the Honorable Prime Minister himself. For years, leaders such as Arvind Kejriwal and others have been openly questioning the authenticity of his degree. Yet, instead of putting all doubts to rest with a simple disclosure, the Honorable Prime Minister and the government has chosen to hide behind the legal lacunae, procedural delays, and court battles. Even more troubling is the use of institutional pressure. Delhi University, Gujarat University, and other public authorities appear to be under extraordinary influence, refusing to release what is essentially a public document. This raises the question: if the degree is genuine, and if Prime Minister Modi really studied and graduated in 1978 from Delhi University and completed MA entire political science in 1983 from Gujarat University, why fear disclosure? Why suppress it by using power and pressure? The legal and constitutional principles are well known. The Right to Information Act 2005 was enacted to empower citizens and makes governance open and answerable. By shielding even the Prime Minister's degree, the judgment risks making the RTI Act itself redundant. The Supreme Court has repeatedly upheld the people's fundamental right to know. The Honorable Supreme Court in cases in Union of India versus ADR 2002 and PUCL versus Union of India 2003, voters must know the background and qualifications of candidates. That was the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court. Then State of UP versus Rajanarayan, wherein the Supreme Court held in a government of responsibility like ours, there can be but few secrets, which are called state secrets. CBSE versus Aditya Bandyopadhyaya 2011, and recently in a significant judgment, the Honorable Supreme Court Division Bench of Justice A.R. Dave and Justice L. Nageshwar Rao set aside the election of NCP MLA of Manipur Mairambam Prithviraj for giving false declaration about his degree in his election affidavit, which was delivered in the case Mairambam Prithviraj versus Pukram Sharat Chandra Singh, dated 28/10/2016, and the same was reported in 2016 AIR Supreme Court, page 5087, and equivalent citation 2017 ALD Supreme Court, volume 3, page number 79. In the said judgment, the Supreme Court held that it is clear from the provisions of Representation of People's Act 1951, Rules and Form 26, that there is a duty cast on the candidates to give correct information about their educational qualifications. The court further held that voter has a fundamental right to information about the contesting candidates and the educational background of the people contesting the polls, and that the information of a candidate contesting elections must be available in the public domain, and that voter has a right to decide whether holding an educational qualification or holding property is relevant for electing a person to be representative, and it is more res integrata that every candidate has to disclose his educational qualification to subserve the right to information of the voter. Having made false declaration relating to his educational qualification, he cannot be permitted to contend that the declaration is not of substantial character. The Delhi High Court, in its judgment in Sri Nandakishore Garg versus Jitendra Singh Tomar, that is AAP MLA, whose election was set aside, dated 17/1/2020, the same Delhi court, which Delhi court now refused to reveal the information, reiterated that it is the bounden duty of the candidate to disclose his educational qualification in the election affidavit. In view of this well-established legal position, the judgment of the Delhi High Court dated 25/8/2025 is clearly not in accordance with the law and rules, and seems to be totally biased and partisan, as it is well known that even the students' answer sheets are public records under RTI. By refusing disclosure, the system is violating both the letter and spirit of the Right to Information Act and damaging the public faith in the institutions. In a democracy, there should be no secrets about public records. When even students' mark sheets can be obtained under RTI, why should the Prime Minister's degree be treated like a classified state secret, my friends? So it's a matter of trust. The Prime Minister should take pride in his degrees and disclose them voluntarily. But the combination of silence, secrecy, and institutional pressure only deepens public suspicion. This is not merely about an academic certificate, my friends. It is about trust in democratic institutions. In a democracy, citizens are the ultimate sovereigns. Their right to know cannot be denied by secrecy, legal maneuvering, or political pressure. The Prime Minister must lead by an example, by himself as an example, not by evasion. If he cannot be transparent about his own degrees, how can we expect transparency in the larger matters of governance? Let us stand united to defend the Right to Information Act and the Constitution and the people's right to know the truth. Secrecy, pressure, and evasion weaken democracy, but the openness strengthens the democracy. So it is the right time that the people must bring pressure all the institutions which are bound to follow the Constitution and law, to follow the Constitution and law in letter and spirit, so that the democracy thrives and the Constitution protects us. Thank you, my friends. Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat, Jai Constitution.